Being here tonight. My name is Stefanie Stevens and I'm the Special Events Coordinator at Connecticut Food Bank. It gives me great pleasure to be here and a part of this wonderful celebration in honor of Nancy Carrington. I would like to introduce to you the President of the Board of Directors, Francine Du Verger, to say a few words.
Thank you for joining us tonight to pay honor to a true champion in the fight to end hunger in our communities, Nancy L. Carrington. Tonight we gather here not only to honor, but to celebrate a passionate dedication of 25 years of service to Connecticut Food Bank. In those 25 years, many hours have been devoted to the growth of Connecticut Food Bank, from a grassroots nonprofit to a leading organization in the effort to feed the people in need. Nancy's dedication evolved from the belief that food is a basic right that must be fulfilled, and to help meet that need was the implementation of many innovative programs and ideas. Earlier this week, Connecticut Food Bank witnessed a historic milestone with the distribution of its 200 million pounds of food. 200 million pounds, which calculates to approximately 154 million meals for people throughout its history. I don't know how many grocery carts, but how incredible, and to be able to witness that and be a part of that is incredible. So everyone has a glass of champagne. I'd like to toast Nancy. Happy 25th anniversary, Nancy Carrington. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you, Francine. And now I would like to introduce someone who's been with Connecticut Food Bank almost as long as Nancy, and she's probably one of the best people to tell us a little bit something about Nancy in those early days. Please welcome Ann Cote, Product Management Director, who's been with Connecticut Food Bank for 22 years this month.
I was going to say, Nancy, are you scared?
And you knew I was, right?
First, I want to say a couple words myself, and then when Stefanie asked me if I would say a few words, I'm like, oh my gosh, what to tell? There's things that I, shouldn't really share here. So I went to Mark Patton, who is, as many of you know, is the founder of the Connecticut Food Bank and happens to be my brother-in-law. But he wanted me to make sure you all know he did not hire me. So there was no nepotism. I filled in one summer, but then actually the person that hired me wasn't Nancy Carrington either. It was Bob Betts, who was a director for a couple of years when Mark left to go to Mexico. So I did ask Mark for some, said, what would you talk about if you were going to talk about Nancy? So I have something here that I want to read from Mark. But first, what I want to say about Nancy is we've had laughs, there's been some tears, there's been some frustration, my head wants to blow off sometimes, and she's always patient throughout, no matter what. And what I really want to tell you personally about Nancy is, in my work I go to the national office in Chicago, and I go to other food banks in New England, and I meet a lot of people that have also met Nancy, and they all ask me about Nancy. If they've met Nancy, they ask, how's Nancy? And I'll tell them, and then they'll say, she's such a nice lady. And I think that really is the, for Nancy, who's laughing out there? Julie was laughing. How rude. So, but they do say that. So Nancy, whether it's a truck driver or the CEO of the organization or whomever it might be, she treats everyone the same way. And I think that that's part of what her passion is, to help people that are hungry and are in need. And I think part of it is about who she is as a person. And because so many of my comments probably would have been sort of irreverent, because I use humor a lot. That's me. I use humor a lot. It's got me through a lot of things. So I'm not going to use my humor, but I am going to read what Mark wrote. And there is some humor in it, so take it with a grain of salt, Nancy. And it is edited. The unedited version is somewhere. I've saved it for you, so I did cut some of it out. So, from Mark, I hired Nancy, someone who wanted to experience what life was like at a nonprofit after having seen what life was like at a for-profit firm. And I guess she must have liked the lower wages and equally long hours to stay for 25 years. When I hired her, she was the third leg of a very small three-leg stool, which made up the entire staff. Me, Herb, a recent grad from an AA program who was more willing than able to heft cases of canned goods, and Nancy. She brought the accounting and business background to match up with my good intentions and overreaching dreams to feed the hungry in the state. Nancy got to witness the early days of working with Governor O'Neill's administration and getting financial help to secure a permanent home for the Connecticut Food Bank. This meant she sometimes got to deal directly with Brad Davis of radio station 102.9 WDRC, who personified the altered old saying that the road to good intentions is paved with hell. The real history of securing state funding came about when we bought foam rubber sandwiches with our name and logo on the outside and a message pad on the inside, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
These foam sandwiches were placed on all the legislators' desks at the Capitol. How easy it can sometimes be to sway the legislators' opinions if you have a decent, humane, and simple message delivered in a memorable package, and the state is operating at a surplus. My congratulations to Nancy for persevering, and to the Connecticut Food Bank Board of Directors for having the good sense to keep her around. Think of it, she has been around for the administrations of Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and now Barack Obama. Wow. Congratulations to Nancy for a job well done and for sticking with the mission to feed the hungry for the past 25 years.
Thank you, Ann.